Hi everyone. In this lecture, we are going to talk about Flex Grow property. Let's dive into our CSS. We have all the styles from our older lecture. Now, this is also a Flex item property. That's why we are going to specify it on the Flex items. Now, what is Flex Grow? Flex Grow specifies how much an item should grow if we require it to. What does that mean? It means that the item which is going to grow is going to take up the available space inside the Flex container. If we take a look at, if we go to inspect, let's go full screen, let's select our container, let's activate the Flex view. You can see that this is the available space inside the container. It is going to take this available space. Now, the default value for all Flex items, the default value for Flex Grow for all Flex items is going to be 0. And if all the items have the same value, then the white space will be distributed equally among all of them. Now, if an item has a greater value of Flex Grow than 0, then that item will take up more space. Let's take a look at that in code. So first I'm going to say li first child. First we're going to talk about the first child. Okay, so let me just spell this better. First child. And I'm going to set it to Flex Grow. We know 0 is the default value and negative numbers are not accepted. So 0 is default. You could only say like 1 to whatever. And if I set it to 1, now that item takes up, if any Flex item has a greater value for Flex Grow than 0, then it is going to take up the entire available space. Now, if we go to responsive for Firefox, the responsiveness is right here, the responsive design mode, and it is way more comprehensive than the one for Chrome. Now, if we go ahead and make this smaller, you can see that if we make the window smaller, the window width, decrease it, only the first item is getting smaller. And when all three of them have the same width, that's when we have a horizontal scroll bar. There we go. It's not that visible, but here is the horizontal scroll bar. So I could zoom that. I don't think whether or not it's going to have any effect. No, it doesn't. Here is the scroll bar. Now I'm sure you can see that. So first, if you start to shrink it, first the item that has the bigger Flex Grow, it is going to be shrunk. Then we are going to have the rest of items. So this is how it actually works. And of course, it is used for responsive purposes. Let's grab the item number 2 in child. Now you can see why we needed to study pseudo classes. I'm going to say Flex Grow. Let's set it to 2. And now the second child, it takes up twice as much size as the first child. And we could also say in child 3, Flex 3. So the higher the value, the greater space that element or grid item is going to take up. So this space is 3 times this one and 1.5 times this one. And they're all going to get shrunk equally at the same rate. At the same rate. There we go. So you can see all of them are getting shrunk at the same rate. Let's just make this a little bit smaller, 1300. There we go. With this, our lecture comes to an end. See you in the next one.